Welcome, Gentle Yoga. It's great to see you. Today, if we have blocks, we can take blocks or any type of props. If we don't have blocks, don't worry about it. And today we'll also be spending some time on our knees. So if we need extra cushion for our knees, it's a great time to hit pause and maybe get an extra yoga mat that we can roll over or a blanket. And if we don't have anything at all, when we get to our knee portion, we can roll over our own yoga mat and use that as our own cushion. So go ahead and gather your supplies and meet me back here. Welcome back. We're gonna start by just checking in to how we feel without judging that, right? Gentle yoga. So this week we're bringing the mantra of feeling the feelings, mind and body, without judging, right? Just learning how to recognize how we feel. And then we'll see if we can move through the flow, keeping that mantra of feeling. So just take a moment to check in and notice there's no right or wrong. We're not bringing judgment to how we feel. Maybe we're feeling energetic. Maybe we're feeling sluggish. Maybe we notice tension in the physical body. Maybe there's something going on in the mind, right? So we're not going to judge it. We're just noticing. Take a moment. Find a space that feels nice. Bringing awareness to our feeling. Gentle yoga, we're going to begin today by tracing our breath. So we might come to our back, or we might stay here in easy seated. So find what feels best. If we're going to come to our back, we're going to find our back safely. So we're going to take one knee with us, using our opposite hand. Our core is strong. Draw that belly button up and in. Come back so slow. Use the forearm. And then once we're on our backs, let's allow the head, the neck to relax. And let's just notice, feet flat, knees bent. Let's draw our palms up. Let's notice how our spine feels as we're starting to allow our spine to just unload all its tension into the earth. Finding any space that feels good with the arms. As we allow the palms to face up, it allows our shoulders to externally rotate. Basically melt away from our ears, open up from our chest. And then take a moment, gentle yoga, to check back in. How are you feeling? We can walk our feet out if it feels good. We can allow the knees to collapse in, or we can use our breaths in any way if we have them. Maybe block underneath the thighs. Just allowing a little extra support for the low back. We're going to keep our core soft. We're not going to activate our core yet. And we're just going to take a practice of tracing our breath. So let's start in the base of our diaphragm, right? And we're just going to draw a nice deep breath in, pulling that breath all the way up, allowing the belly to really expand as we breathe in so deep. And then start to trace your breath up the front of the body. So notice your rib cage lift. And then notice the chest lift. And then the top of our breath, we'll kind of pause it, hover it. That little pause gives us a little chance to notice how we're feeling. And then we're going to trace our exhale down the back of the spine. So down the back of the skull. the neck, the mid back, the low back, up the tailbone. And then once that exhale is empty, take your little pause, and then we're going to do it again. Trace the breath up the front of the body. Now pacing your breath with what feels right and comfortable in your body. In through the nose. Close down the back of the throat and start to listen for your whisper as you trace your breath down your spine. And as we move a couple more rounds into this practice of breath, come back to our weekly intention. How does this breath make you feel? How do we feel here on our back? How do we feel in our body? Take this 3 more rounds, full cycles of breath. In and out the nose. Feeling as our breath becomes deeper, a true expansion in the front of the body. Final round of tracing the breath. Deepest breath in through the nose, gentle yoga. Longest breath. Connecting to your whisper. When we're ready, we're going to bring some gentle movement into the body. So let's be mindful to activate our core center. Drawing the belly button up and in, kissing the belly button to the spine. Eventually drawing one knee in at a time towards the chest. Belly button and spine to heart center. And then let's continue to trace our breath. So with our right foot flat into the earth, keeping both knees bent. Let's inhale left knee. Just keeping it connected to the belly, and then exhale. Left foot flat. Inhale with the pace of your breath. Right knee. And then continuing to prompt our breath to slow way, way down as we trace the breath up the front of the body. So visualize, right? Pause, hover at the crown of the head, and then exhale down the back. So we're beginning to flow, breaking up tension here in our hip flexors, warming up the hip flexors. Breaking up tension in the low back, a gentle release to the hips as we're beginning to gently bring strength to the core. And once again, stay connected. Our weekly mantra, right? Feeling. How do you feel? How does this movement make you feel? How does this breath make you feel? The practice of yoga, we're looking to connect to the body. We're looking to feel better. Burning and shaking in our muscles. Yes, gentle yoga. Pain in our joints. No, that's a warning, right? Make an adjustment. Get comfortable in your body. Feel the feels. So even in this gentle practice of yoga, we will be gently strengthening our mind and our body. 2 more flows. Slow it down. next round of breath. Let's meet knees to chest. Breathe in so deep. Open your mouth, take a loud, audible, releasing exhale. And then notice how that makes you feel. Good job, Gentle Yoga. Let's roll to our side. Right side if we need energy. Left side if we need peace. Side lying fetal, core is strong. Use the top arm, push the body up. Safest way to rise. Welcome back. So we're gonna transition now to our knees. Here's a great time to cushion those knees if you need extra cushioning, right? Let's find the structure of our first tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Soften the shoulders away from the earth, so gently draw the shoulder blades back and down. Core is strong, belly button up and in, and spread those hands wide. Exhale into our first cat. Maybe drawing the chin towards the chest, scooping the core stronger. Inhale as we rise. Let's take this a couple times. Being mindful, we really spread those hands wide. That's our protection to our wrists. Let's take 2 more flows. Staying with tracing our breath, right? Tracing the breath up from the diaphragm, pause at the top, the crown of your head, and then trace the breath down the back, out the tailbone. And then once we're complete, find an easy seat. Let's roll out the wrists. Breathing, feeling, listening to your body. So anytime we're on all fours, Gentle Yoga, if we notice pain in our wrists, acknowledge that, feel that, and then maybe take a break, child's pose, right? Knees wide. Or maybe switch to forearms, right? Options. We can even find fists for wrists as long as we're stacked, right? Wrists directly under shoulders. So when we're ready, let's come back to tabletop. Hands or forearms, spread those hands wide. Soften the shoulders down the back. Draw the core strong. Let's look over the right shoulder. Lift the left hip. Oh, nice release for the neck, the low back. Toes can be tucked here if those feet need a stretch, or if knees need more stability. Toes can be flat in the earth. Inhale, neutral spine. Tabletop, lots of strength in the core. Exhale, look over that left shoulder, lift the left hip, breathe, feel. Let's take this a couple more times. Come back to our intention this week. How does this make you feel? Allowing that breath to linger in the exhale just a bit longer. Inhale, neutral spine whenever you're ready. When we're ready, let's take a couple more cow-cats, cat-cow in any order. It feels right. And then we'll meet back child's pose. Maybe bring those knees wide. Big toes might touch. The center of our brow must make it to the earth. So if it doesn't, then we have blocks. We can use our block. If we do not have blocks, we use our own hands as support. Fists, stack them, flat hands. Maybe send the hips side to side, maybe roll the forehead and just see, Gentle Yoga, how this feels in your body. Gentle Yoga when you're ready, tabletop. Structure of the pose, stack, the joints, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Draw the core strong. Neutral neck, breathe. Let's lift the right knee off the earth. Bring that knee in line with hip. Notice low back stays square. Core is strong. Exhale, sunbird. We're drawing the nose and the knees towards one another. Nice round in the back. Inhale, rise. Nice stretch for the hip flexor. And then let's check in, knee to earth. Belly button up and in. Let's take the left knee up. In line with hips. So it's not about how high we lift here, right? Protect the low back. Exhale, round. Trace your breath, right? Take that pause. Inhale, rise. And then let's alternate. Knee to earth. Right knee lifts. Inhale. So as we rise in that inhale, we're really strengthening our glutes, our low back. As we exhale and round, we're strengthening the core, releasing the entire back. Continue to alternate so we're equal and even, and continue to prompt your breath to slow. Check your wrists, right? This might be a time that we change it up, maybe rest, maybe find our forearms. Active hands help to strengthen our forearms and protect our wrists. Spread those hands wide, push hard into the fingerprints and knuckles. One or two more flows, whatever it takes to be equal and even. And then we might meet in child's pose. Extended child's pose as the arms reach to the top of the mat. We might allow the elbows to connect to the earth and roll the wrists. Yeah, check in. How do you feel? Breathe, feel. Listening to your body. 2 more rounds of breath. Gentle yoga. When we're ready, let's come back to tabletop. Structure of the pose. Stack the joints. Breathe. Feel. Let's lift that right knee. And then we're just going to draw that right foot forward. Find our first kneeling lunge, right? If we have blocks, we can use this for length here, right? That way we can get off our fingertips, right? Let's load into our wrists. So the blocks just give us extra length, right? We can find these blocks anywhere, really. Target, Walmart. We can order them online. They're pretty inexpensive. I like the thicker blocks because they give us a little bit more stability. But even if we get thinner blocks, it's the same purpose, right? Our core is strong. Soften the shoulders, right? We're starting to take a little bit more of a stretch in our hip flexor. We're bringing a little bit of strength in the thigh. When we're ready to move, we'll move the blocks to the side just so that we have more stability. And then we'll step it back, structure of the pose, tabletop. Line everything up. Shake the head and the neck out. Inhale. Right leg off the earth, right? And then exhale. Bring it forward. Kneeling lunge, right? And get off those fingertips if we have blocks. Check the structure of the pose. Knees over ankle. Helps to protect. Core is strong, right? That helps to protect any overstretching that can go on in that hip flexor, right? Breathe. So we're gonna flow with the pace of your breath, right? If we have blocks, move those out of the way. Come back, tabletop. Alternating legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Soften the shoulders, neutral spine. Exhale to earth when your breath is complete. Inhale. feeling, listening. Right? How does this movement make you feel? Maybe we flow. The cat-cow in between. Maybe a side body stretch. So it's your flow. I like to call this free flow. Start responding to what you feel your body needs. As the body starts to warm, we might be able to work our way up the thigh just a bit more, maybe not. Check in. Slow down. Take 2 more complete flows of that kneeling lunge. Just bringing warmth and strength to the thighs. Take your time. We might lift an arm, we might lift both arms, right? Soften the shoulders. Gentle yoga. Feet in tabletop. Remember the structure of the pose. Let's tuck our toes. We're going to find our first downward facing dog. Core is strong. Now we can walk our feet out to the edge of our yoga mat. Wide down dog. Takes the edge off our hamstrings. It's a gentler form of down dog. Shake out the head, the neck. Keep the core strong. Really lift the tailbone tall. And keep the spine long. So we can put a bend in the knees. That helps to keep that spine, that back from rounding. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. And then come back to our mantra. How do you feel here, right? Blood and oxygen's flowing to the brain. We're in a mini inversion. If this feels wrong, heel toe the feet. Back, hip distance apart, set the knees down, and find your rest. Could be cat-cow, could be child's pose. If this feels good, let's take 3 more rounds of breath, right? Spread those hands wide. Trace the breath up the front of the body. Take a pause and then exhale breath. All the way down the back of the body. Lift the tailbone taller towards the blue skies or your ceiling. So notice we're gently growing stronger here in the arms, the core, the upper back. So we're taking a release for the low back, the hamstrings, the calves. Also, we get this blood and oxygen flow to the brain. We've been here a while. Let's bring our feet heel toe, heel toe, heel toe back to about hip distance or maybe under those hip bones. Knees to the earth. Ooh, head comes above the heart. How you doing, gentle yoga? Great job. Let's take a break for the rest. Find your easy seat. May or may not be on your knees. Roll the wrists, maybe roll the shoulders. Breathe deep. Check in. How are you feeling? When we're ready, let's come back, tabletop. Structure of the pose. Inhale. Right knee off the earth. Exhale. Bringing that right knee forward, kneeling lunge. Nice job. So we're gonna hold on to this kneeling lunge for about 5 rounds of breath. So find where you need to be. Hands flat into the earth, hands into the blocks. Hands into the thighs. We can even lift the arms here, breathe. So we want to avoid dumping into our hips, right? We do that by keeping the core strong. Lifting those muscles from our pelvic floor. right? Those muscles that we use to stop our urine flow. Draw the belly button to your spine. Now breathe deeper. Stay with that same tracing of breath that we started with, right? And now our core is active and strong. Belly button and spine to heart center. Breathe deeper. Continue to soften the shoulders away from the ears. 3 more rounds of whisper breath. Check in. How do you feel, right? If you need cushion for that left knee, you can fold over the yoga mat, right? Notice our knee is behind our hip. So we're actually on like the top of the knee. It takes the pressure off the knee and it gives us a nice stretch for that left hip flexor. 1 more round of breath. Great job. Let's come back to the hamstrings. So we might use these blocks if we have them, right? Travel back. We're going to start to gently straighten that right leg. Activate the right toes. Breathe. Feel. And we might be able to adjust this posture just a bit more, right? Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Ooh. Deep stretch for the hamstring, right? Deepen the breath. Core is strong. If we're on blocks, we might be able to lower the blocks, right? Notice stretching should never feel painful. Lengthen the exhale. Yeah. So notice how we feel when we lengthen that exhale. Two more rounds of whisper breath. When we're ready, we'll gently come back to that bend in the front of the thigh. Remove the blocks. Come back to tabletop. Structure of the pose. Now we have the option to rest, child's pose, flow, cat, cow, or tuck the toes. Let's see what our traditional down dog feels like. Right, might feel a little bit different from the right hamstring to the left hamstring. Notice, right? We might keep a deep bend in the knees to prevent the spine from rounding. Core is strong. Lift the tailbone tall. Soften the shoulders. Breathe. Might walk the dog by deeply bending one knee as we allow the opposite heel to connect to the earth. Notice how that feels down the back of the body. 2 more rounds of breath. Remember, we're upside down. Blood and oxygen is flowing to the brain, right? If this feels wrong for any reason, come out, right? Blood pressure issues, water in the inner ears. Can make us feel wonky here. When we're ready, tabletop. Take your time from wherever you are, right? Left leg, step forward, breathe. Check the structure of the pose, feel. You might be here for 5 rounds of breath. Core is strong. Avoid dumping into the hips, right? Come back to our weekly mantra. How do you feel here? So every time we change posture, we move. Every time we change our breath pattern, even if it's minute, check in. How do you feel? 3 more rounds of whisper breath. And then next round of breath, stay active in the core, right? We're gonna start to straighten that left leg, modified splits. Activate those left set of toes, drawing the toes towards the shin. Ooh, breathe deeper back, right? Soften the shoulders, avoid the spine from rounding here. So we're all gonna look different, right? Our hands can be flattened to the earth. We can lower the blocks if the hamstrings allow, right? Breathe. Lengthen the exhale. And then send your exhale to wherever you feel the most tension. And then we might be able to make an adjustment. We might be able to bring that right knee back a little bit farther. Stretching should never feel painful. That's an indicator we're forcing the body to go somewhere it doesn't quite yet belong. Gentle yoga. So we should feel something in every posture. Tension, yes. Lengthen the breath and see if we can break up that tension just a bit. 3 more rounds of breath. When we're ready, let's put a bend back in that front leg. We'll come off the blocks if we're on the blocks. And toes to the front of the mat, hands flat. Find your rest. That could be child's pose, cat-cow, or maybe down dog, right? Tabletop, tuck the toes. We like that wide stance down dog. We can come back to heel toeing the feet out. Or we can stay in that traditional dog. We can walk the dog. See if our heels can come just a bit closer to the earth as we provided a little bit more length to our hamstrings. Core is strong. Lift that tailbone taller. Hands are active. 1 more round of breath. Good job. Tabletop. And let's come off our knees for a moment. Easy seat. Legs can be crossed. We can outstretch the legs, whatever feels right. Let's come into a nice sip of water. And we'll come into a deeper hip opener now. Inner thigh opener, low back release, or frog. So once again, we're gonna be on our knees. If we're not comfortable on our knees, we can cushion our knees with our blanket, or just let it go completely. We can come to our back in a safe way and practice happy baby, or even knees to chest, right? So frog, we're gonna come to the long edge of our yoga mat. And we're gonna keep our knees and ankles in line. So we're gonna widen our knees just a bit. Find something that's comfortable in your hips, right? And then check in, we're gonna flex our feet. So our feet are flat, right? Active feet, toes drawing to the shin. And then just take a peek back, core is strong. And then just look, right? Our ankles are in line with knees. Feet are active. So if we have blocks, this is a great way to use the blocks, right? We might stay on our hands, core is strong. We might come to our forearms, blocks are earth. And with the core strong, we're just gonna start to sit back. Yeah. So deep stretch, inner thighs, a nice stretch for the hips, a nice stretch for the low back. Breathe, feel, listen to your body, stay active in the core. Let's start to lengthen our exhale. Neutral neck, so find a way to protect the neck. We can come to prayer hands. We can bring our fists underneath our chin, right? And then let's gently continue to nudge those hips back just a bit. Breathe, feel, stay active in the feet. Next round of breath, nice and deep through the nose, and then maybe we come to that releasing breath. Open the mouth, loud, audible exhale. Maybe that releasing breath allows us to send our hips back a little bit deeper. Check in, how you doing? Come back to that Ujjayi breath. Seal lips, in through the nose. Seal the lips, listen for your whisper. And as the body relaxes, releases tension, we can make an adjustment to our posture. Maybe, maybe not. 2 more rounds of breath. When we're ready, gentle yoga, stay active in the core. Let's bring the knees back underneath the body and let's sit back. Great job. Check in. Notice how you're feeling. Final relaxation. It's the most important part of our practice. So let's find a place that feels nice. We can stay in easy seat. Find our back safely. We can find our tummy. So since I have the blocks today, I can show you if you have blocks, you can take a nice belly release. So it's nice to have a blanket over the block. With our core strong, we just come down and relax. The core, right? Use our hands to protect the neck. We can stack, right? We can even stay there. That helps to apply just a little bit of pressure to our vagus nerve. So if we have built up trauma in our body, or we've been under a lot of stress, that pressure, that gentle pressure of the block to our vagus nerve sends a signal to our nervous system. It's time to release. It's also a nice release for the low back. So just see where your body wants to go. And we're going to take a moment. We're going to finish with tracing our breath right where we started, right? So once we're secure in a comfortable place, soften the core. And then in your next round of breath, breathe in so deep. Feel the belly rise, ribs, chest. Pause. And exhale, tracing the breath down the back of the skull, the upper back, the low back, out the tailbone. As we're tracing the breath, notice spaces that we can soften. Lift the eyebrows around, unhinge the jaw. Take an easy swallow. Next round of breath, whenever that happens, see how it feels to take a loud, audible exhale. Deepest breath in through the nose. Open up. Let that releasing breath invite us into our final relaxation. Here's where we allow our entire body to soften, including our breath. Let's allow our most natural state of breath to take over. And at any time we notice a distraction, I want you to acknowledge your distraction and then allow your mind and breath to come back into connection. Do that as many times as it takes until eventually distractions will fall away and peace will settle in. Stay here in meditation as I sign out. Until I see you again, you two. Feel your feels. Be well.